Alright, what's going on YouTube? So we finally finished the final portion of Act 1 on Nightmare. We've got the full deck build here, and I'll be going through the gameplay to show you how to make it through, get some of the cheese spots. You know, sadly enough, mobility and cheesing most of it is going to be what you're going to be, or what you'll need in order to actually complete Nightmare at this point. It seems like there's a few different types of build you could work with if you have a team with you. I'll work to try to make some of those in the coming future, but this is what I've got for right now in order to help you, if you want to, by yourself, get through Nightmare on Act 1. Or at least the final portion here. We also have previous videos where I've already done the first checkpoint and the second checkpoint, and this is just going from the last checkpoint on to the finale. But we'll get straight into the deck, and if you'd like to just copy and paste this, obviously down in the description we'll have a list in order by name if you just want to throw it in. But starting off, run like hell. We're all about movement speed with this. We all want the mobility. If you've seen the first deck, this is a little bit of an adaptation that perfectly suits the final portion of Act 1. But 15% move speed, don't even worry about that 20% reduced accuracy. You'll see it at times, but once they're already in your face, it's not even going to be something to worry about. Superior cardio. We want to amplify that stamina and that sprint efficiency. Add a little bit of health as well, considering the damage is going to be really high, so health is going to be a bit crucial, but it's not something we're really going to build up. Considering everything is so dangerous, pretty much getting hit by anything is going to be detrimental to you straight off the bat. And one thing to note, I did use Evangelo with this. Why I say utilize Evangelo is considerably because of the simple fact that he can break out. You're not going to have that many stun guns. Generally only going to have one, especially at the very beginning of it, unless you get that quick slot inventory space add-on, or if you played with Carly. But at the same time, if you had Carly, there's only 2 stun guns. Sometimes there's horde of hawkers or stalkers, any number of things that can just pin you down, crushers as well. And once you run out of that stun gun, that could be a rip on that, and you'll see in the gameplay bots aren't always the most reliable, but we'll get into that here in a bit. Energy drink, we want more of that stamina. Don't worry about the damage resistance. Everything's so damaging, it's not even something to worry about. Again, 20% stamina, 20% stamina regen, 3% move speed, and 5 health. Cross trainers, we got Olympic sprinter right after that. We're getting that sprint efficiency. We're really maximizing that mobility with this build. Now this is when things start to change up. We get grenade pouch. Big thing. Once you're in this final act, you're gonna need grenades. Sometimes this is the only way you're gonna be able to survive some of these holdout moments that go forward. And in order to take out, essentially, grenades is the only thing you want to hold. Sometimes, if you got a buddy with you, some other people, get them to get Molotovs, but use this as the powerhouse for grenades, because right after that bomb squad, we're increasing the damage of those explosives by 100% and reducing or increasing our resistance to those explosives by 35%. Just in case you need to throw it somewhere close to your feet. It won't insta-kill you, but it is going to hurt you. But in some moments, as you'll see in the gameplay, I had one of them. It's not going to destroy you, but sometimes it's ultimately necessary in the moment. But that's essentially going to one-shot bruisers. Maybe there's a pack of special infected as well. Toss it at them, clear that one out. Could save the team, could save the run. Right after that, hyper-focused. We want a little bit of damage with this build, considering there's going to be holdout moments. So we need to take out some special infected that are going to be coming, as well as common infected are going to be surrounding them as well. But with the bots, they should help you in team firing on certain things. I wouldn't say the bots' lives are absolutely necessary, but we'll get into that in the gameplay. There'll be certain moments where just run past them. If they go down, don't even worry about it, and other moments where you need to pick them up. Padded suit right after that. We're adding a bit of that damage resistance in, considering we've already taken some damage resistance off, even though everything is quite damaging, and you may see that negative 20 stamina efficiency, but we have so much at this point, it's going to be fine. And if you're playing Evangelo, you're going to have that 25% added on to regen. Now, screwdriver, this is going to be really helpful in certain moments. Say one of the bots die, this is going to help you either open crates or pull them off the wall faster. Now, I will say, let me move that around, but we also get 10% stamina off this. Now, this is going to be really crucial. We're building up until the final moment with this deck when it comes to use speed, because we're going to utilize this on the final of the actual act, and it is going to help you tremendously. Trust me, if you're working with the team, one person needs a build like this that essentially uses all of the use speed cards. But Hellfire right after that for 45% move speed while firing and 5 move speed in general, just adding to that mobility. And right after that, we got multi-tool, 75% use speed. Trust me, if you're working with a team of people, maybe some friends or something, if they go down and you got to pull them off a wall, you're the guy that's going to be able to do this the fastest. It's really going to amplify that time to pull off, and it could come down one of those moments where maybe a horde's encroaching on you or some common infected, special infected pushing on you. This could give you that slight advantage in time in order to pull them off and both of you get away before getting down by that and possibly saving the run. And right after that, we've got Shredder. We're just adding a little bit more of that damage for those moments when we got to hold out or deal with special infected. Now save this card until the very final. Right when you get to the howitzer gun, do not use this before. I know it may seem beneficial, but I'll tell you right now, the negative to this is hugely damaging to your gameplay. When you take damage, you have a chance to be blinded for 1 second. When it comes to common infected, they keep slapping you, that's 1 second more, 1 second more. And you're not going to be able to run away from them. You're not going to know where anything is. You're not going to be able to beat them off because you're going to be blinded. But with this build, you are essentially the guy that's loading that gun, firing it, and unloading it, and reloading it. This is going to make that whole process of getting through those shells as quick as possible in that final act. The mag carrier, you don't essentially need it. If you do get to the point where you grab this before you grab headband, grab that. Headband should be at the last anyways, but mag carrier is just to amplify that damage, give that 30% more ammo capacity in case you need it. But alright guys, that's going to be the full-on build for this run in the final portion of Act 1, and we'll get straight into the gameplay. Alright. Alright guys, let's get into the gameplay when it comes to the finale of Act 1. This is going to be the full gameplay. Lucky enough, I did end up being able to complete this without having to have it continue. Put a lot of hours into this, guys. It's not going to be an easy one. RNG is going to be heavy on this one as well. I've had some runs where I feel like they cranked up everything to 10. Every other corner I was coming around, there was 3 to 4 special infected. I mean, all the way through this, all the way into the barn area. But essentially what you want, now I've got 3 grenades right now. I was able to buy one of the offensive slot inventories, so I've got 3 right now, but most of the time you'll have 2, but you want those pain pills and the stun gun. Stun gun's just faster than breakout. Breakout's the basic fallback for anything going wrong. Sometimes it'll help you, but a lot of times if you have to use the breakout and you're already below half health, you're pretty much dead. I mean, the damage is real in this mode, but keep in mind, as soon as we get out to the barn area, there's going to be this sleeper on the left pretty much every time. There's going to be another one over on the wall on the left over here coming around the corner. Now when it comes to blowing up some of these little nest sack things, I generally just go straight in, especially if this one's already here. And then we're just going to start doing laps, man. We're going to move like we're the Bolt himself. We're going to keep running around here like we're a chicken on the farm, just having a good old day. But essentially, you're just going to keep running. Not going to worry about the bots. The bots will die. This is one of those moments where the bots are not absolutely necessary. I did have hawkers on this mission. I would recommend re-rolling if you have hawkers on this mission, but this was one of those moments at the final portion of the night. You know, I gave up earlier in the day, started working on some builds. We got an AR build that's going to be out along with this video that I made just to cool down from all the rage I was having from running this. But I came back, felt better after making some builds, enjoyed myself, and I said, we're going to do one more run. Ended up getting it on this. Sometimes it's one of those moments where you just got to take a step back, rerun it. Fresh, clear, calm-minded. But as you can see, running a bit. Birds. Now, one thing about the grenades that's good is you can blow up the birds. Say there's one in your path, say there's something going wrong, you can just toss those on top of them. And in this moment, sometimes you'll have birds right here where there is a nest sack. One grenade's going to clear that whole thing and going to hit the nest sack. So then you just have to keep moving. Now, I think at this point, you know, I was kind of looking around, like trying to figure out where the last one was. Sometimes it's up by the main portion where you have to knock down the little trailer to go down the river. But as you can see, you know, I'm just taking out some of the hawkers. I'm trying to avoid the hawker grabbing me at all costs because I'm telling you, the damage is going to be real from some of these. If you have spitters as well, worst nightmare to have. The fact that once you get hit with that spit, it's going to slow you down. Not only is it going to do massive amount of damage, but they're ready to spit again. And the worst part about that is, say there's a spitter somewhere and you've got a horde right on your tail, that slowdown is going to cause them to catch up. If you don't have enough sprint in that moment, boom, you're going to be dead real quick once they grab onto you, and you're not going to have enough time to pull back, fire backwards. But essentially, that's the point with this. You'll get a bit low on stamina at certain moments. You'll have a good lead on the horde. Turn around, shoot them a bit, do a little back pedaling, and then just clear them up. But as you can see, boom, we've already got the final one. This one's going to be a straightaway moment. We're just going to run along this edge, kind of fire at some of the common infected that are close. Well, once we get down here, one thing to note about this little trailer, it has gotten me killed more than once. There's a lot of rage moments that happen with this. Once that thing lines up, you can go up halfway but you will not be able to go past halfway. You'll notice it. I get stopped right here. There's like an invisible wall for a second. But luckily, able to get across as soon as it locks in. But some moments, you're going to need to hold off that horde right behind you. Another thing to note, always, pretty much always, on this side of this ambulance, there's another sleeper. So take that out. We had a close call right here. But luckily enough, able to quickly put that door in. We're straight on to the next mission. Now this mission, things don't go exactly as planned. Got a bit lucky here. And it goes to show you that sometimes taking control of the bot can be essential to making this run possible. Do a little skip right here. Next card I picked, I believe it was 75%. Yeah. Just because in this mission there's going to be certain moments where some of the bots are going to die. You're going to want to peel them off just at the end. If you know Hell's Bells, you know at the finale of this, you're going to have to get into a church and board up these windows. Luckily, if you're in solos, there's only 3 windows to board up, and that's going to be a lot of help. But if you're in a group play, it's going to be 6 windows. And if you go searching for matchmaking with randoms when it comes to this portion of Nightmare, if it does throw you in solos, if there's nobody else looking as well, it's going to be 6 windows. So you're better off going in solos if you can't find anybody with the matchmaking system. One thing to note. Now, I kind of take this portion a little bit slow. I just clear things out, try to take as minimal damage as possible. Generally, you'll be able to make it through here without taking even a scratch. It's going to be really helpful later on. As you already know, we've got a tow truck up here that needs to pull over a semi in order to get through. Now, there's a way to cheese this. And I'll tell you right now, I went down trying to use this exploit. But there is an exploit with it where you can skip through before the tow truck actually pulls it up. I'll show you what you can do. I don't have the gameplay footage for it on this one, but if you go back to the stream, I did it on about 2 runs. Got it a bit successful. It's not something ideal for me. Generally, I'll say for this moment, the best way to do it is to keep hopping from car to car and kind of taking shots at some of the common infected, taking shots at some of the special infected. But I'll have a little bit of that moment to showcase here where I kind of move around because I couldn't hit the spot to get over the wall. But first off, clear the area, try to loot some things. Sometimes there's some supply boxes, sometimes there's pipe bombs, maybe there's some better weapons out there as well, possible pain pills. It's good to have those boxes open just in case moments, especially when it comes down to the end of this. Maybe you've taken some damage, maybe you fell off some of the cars in the strat. Things are going to happen, but you're going to need that health going forward. So after this, we've got another straightaway run all the way to the church. And it's not an easy one, but if you can nail it and you can get through this next portion, you're getting closer. It's still not going to be as easy, but it's going to be a doozy. Like I said, we've got some supply boxes. Sometimes there's 2 over here. Sometimes it's just 1. Sometimes there's none. Sometimes it just ruins you. I feel like once you hit that continue, if you die at this point and then hit continue again, generally I don't find anything back there. It almost feels like it's punishing me for dying. I'm not 100% sure why that is, but that can occasionally happen. And right now I'm just getting the loot, checking things out. There's some weapon crate. Generally this is always here, checking to see if there's anything better. Me personally, when it comes to the SMGs, the UMP is doing the damage and it is laying them down, including common infected. This is the point where you can cheese it. You've got to line it up to where you land in that doorway section that's going to fall over. For whatever reason, if you have max mobility, you'll be able to jump. But the best bet is to honestly just jump from car to car. Just keep jumping around these cars. Take out that hawk or a spitter or whatever that is. Shoot up a couple of the common infected. But then keep doing this circle on top of the cars. You're going to be able to avoid a lot of damage, avoid a lot of the stuff. You'll notice I almost landed it right there. And what you'll essentially do is you'll go over that little wall and then you'll just pop over to the left and it'll act like normal. I couldn't quite get it. I started getting frustrated right here. Things are going bad. And it goes from bad to worse. This is when it really showcases the moment that bots are absolutely, I cannot state it enough. Bots at certain points are absolutely overpowered, but in moments like this, they are complete idiots. I mean, I'm right here. Now, obviously, there's special infected on me right now. It probably wouldn't be a good idea for the AI and their coding to automatically try and pick me up. But the dumb part is that the one character is Mom right now with an instant res. Hasn't used it yet. Could use it on me right now. That probably would be a good idea to throw in the AI code if they're playing the Mom character. Grab the person immediately. Do that 1 second revive time. You'll see right now, they're going to let me die. Mom is standing over me and just looking at me. I mean, it's brutal, man. It couldn't be trolling me any harder right now. Now, obviously, I take over. Look at that instant res. Had that the whole time. Could have picked me up any moment right there. Goodness. Can't explain the rage, man. But this is one of those moments that you could save yourself with. Holly obviously died. Big help, Holly. So now we're going to have to take it really cautiously. We don't have any of the cards amplifying right now this character. We're just base level bot with whatever cards are available for team use. And we're going to try and wing it. Works out pretty well. Now, this is one of those strats, sometimes you face against the hawkers. Do your best to avoid that spit. You can hear it coming. You can hear them getting that gnarly little raspy mucus in the back of their throat ready. But you can avoid that in certain moments like that. But essentially, we're pretty much taking it slow right here. Obviously, in a better run where you're not trying to do that moment to just use that exploit, just jump from the cars. Honestly, it's so unreliable to even jump over that wall that I'm just like, you just throw it out. It could be faster, and it would be a bit more helpful to be faster and not take that damage during that moment. But sometimes it's just unavoidable. And generally, one of the people that's died will show up inside of the underside of this freeway bridge. But, I didn't have that, so I had to trek on a little bit more. I had to just be really cautious, keep moving forward. It's one of those moments where, patiently, slowly but gradually moving forward. Sometimes that's going to help you. A lot of times in Nightmare, that won't help you. Generally, a lot of special infected will start spawning. Depends on what the modifiers are, corruption cards, things of that nature. Whatever the AI director is feeling that day, I suppose, as well. I mean, some of these matches, it feels like he's just really mad at somebody, including you, and just overpowering and throwing every special infected he can, just over-spawning everything. Unreal. You can check the VOD on Twitch. Trust me, I had hours of rage-fueled moments. But in this moment, we're slowly getting here and down these pathways. If you've been down through here before, you know that along the sides of the walls, there'll be some of the people that are dead hanging there. You'll just have to rip them down. Luckily, I made it through this portion. But generally, you'll just speed through this. As soon as you get through that little freeway area, kind of clear it a bit. Make sure you don't take too much damage because it is closed and confined space. And you'll just bust it through here. You're not going to be slowly going through here. Arguably, you could go the slow route, kind of clear it out, and by the end of it, just book it until the church. But a lot of times I've made it past this mission a couple of times before, and generally just booking it through here is your best bet. You'll be able to res all the people just at the church as well. It's going to be a big help for you. You're going to need those bots for that final moment, because obviously the horde's going to come in. There's going to be special infected. Lucky enough, got to my body. Now I'm playing my character. Got to do a bit of a gradual clear up in this moment. Take out the special infected, because I'm trying to keep the bots alive. I'm hoping that from the point of this end, I can just run and none of them will die. They'll just teleport all the way to where I'm at, but you'll see soon enough. That doesn't happen. Bots are dumb. Things went a bit bad here. Yeah, we've already got a hawker. I'm freaked out. One of those moments where I don't want to get caught. I may have a stun gun, but I don't want to take that damage. I don't want to have that thing possibly get me and then something else get me later on down the line, because we already know there's hawkers spawning in left and right on this map. But at that moment, I took a loop around, and we're just booking it straight through this. Just go straight. Go straight. Don't even stop. There's a hag in this fort as well that spawned for me. Just keep on going. As soon as you see this, take that left, and right around this corner, take the left, jump onto the down a tree, use the down trees, try to clear a little bit. You don't want those common infected on you. Sometimes there's birds out here as well. Got some on the right. Make note of those moments. Do keep your wits about you. I essentially, what I do once I get in here, if there's a lot of common infected, just funnel them up this way. That way you can kind of have the distance and clear straight through that little gate. I got lucky in this moment. There's not a lot of them. Sometimes there's a whole pack of them out here, and it can be troublesome. But as you can see, we've got the bots. Walker's going to spawn as well. I don't believe we got Holly, but 2's going to be enough. You really want 2. 1, you might be able to get it done, but essentially you want 2. Sometimes there's a healing station there. That's not always there, but that is a great help when it is. I got lucky with this run. But more often than not, there will be a heal station right there. But this is where that use speed's going to come in handy. You're going to notice I'm going to be lightning fast. Boom. We're just nailing that in. Like one hammer stroke in. Boom. We're going in. We're just doing it as fast as we can. We're not even worried about the common infected at this point. They need to be on that, and they're clearing it just as well as they could possibly do. The bots are being excellent in this moment, whereas we've already seen they've been the worst teammates you could possibly have before. But, you know, I guess that's the trade-off when it comes to bots, when you don't have real players with you. If you do, obviously you're going to have 6 windows to cover, but if you have 2 people with this speed use build, it'll probably work out pretty well when it comes to this mission. Now, next mission coming up. Bit more difficult. We've got a couple of holdout moments, and we've got to trek all the way through these mines until we get to the finale. Arguably the hardest mission out of all of them. I know it's already been, you know, the first 2 missions, you know, that last one with the church, it's troublesome, but this one, whew, we're talking about some serious irritation. I think I went with mag carrier on this one instead, just to have the flat damage instead of having that build up of damage. That's one thing to choose if you want to. Headband, absolutely going to be the very last option. When it comes down to this moment, sometimes you don't have enough for offensive slots. Some people say you'd be better off holding pipe bombs for this mission. There's an argument for that, but I'd say you're better off doing that if you're not solo. Me personally, there's going to be some moments where we're going to be in closed quarters with a lot of special infected in this mission, so I say grenades. You want that instant down, that instant kill. But as soon as we come out of this safe room, what we're going to do is essentially take it slow at first, and then we're just going to ramp and speed all the way down. Since as soon as we come out here, there's going to be a little gas station that we go up to the back of. You'll run up, get into the corner of the area that's in front of you. Generally, there's some birds in the middle on the right. Yeah, okay, now we're going in. But you'll see you go off to the left of this semi, take out some of the common infected, kind of funnel them in. Obviously, the bots are going to clean up the rear. And then we just want to start pushing in, kind of clear out inside, make sure that we can kind of push in and out of this building, because you're going to funnel some special infected from the front door to this back area to make sure that you're not taking any damage whatsoever. We're going to need that health for later. Sadly enough, some of these special infected are just waiting for you. They're going to hit you. I've had plenty of moments where that was the end of a run right there. I couldn't do anything about it. Couldn't foresee it happening. Sometimes it's just, it's nightmare. That's all I can say. But you'll get behind the counter, clear out a bit, And what we're going to do is we're going to go straight out, go to the left, hug the wall. Sometimes there's birds, sometimes you don't have birds. We're going to go all the way out, left, hug the wall, make sure to avoid those birds. We're going to book it. Now, behind this semi, it's a couple of sleepers. Keep that in mind. Now, sadly enough, I did alert a horde right here. I believe it was the snitch, yep, but I somehow missed the birds. One of those moments where a snitch seems more powerful than birds. But just book it all the way up to this house. Clear out a couple of the common infected, but big thing, the special infected are going to start rolling in. Lucky enough, sometimes you'll have to break that door down. A lot of times it's never open. Stick in the bottom portion. There's going to be some special infected inside the house. Slowly clear it out. You want to make sure you don't take any damage at all. If anything, just minimal damage at that. As you can already see, some things are unforeseeable. There's going to be moments where you take a bit of damage, but you want to maximize the effort to keep sustaining that larger amount of health. Now, the bots will help you with that at certain moments. They can heal you. I wish you could tell them to heal you, but they'll do it at random times. Sometimes it's perfect timing. Other times it's more later than it should be. Again, bots are not the most reliable, but at certain moments they can come in clutch. But if you got some buddies to work with, I'd argue to say throw 2 in. That's really going to help you in this mission, even though it makes it a bit more difficult. But if you don't have anybody, you can do this solo. It may take a lot of time. Not the most amount of time, but nice little 4-hour run. Essentially, you want to know what you need to get done. You're going to start memorizing. It's going to be a lot of trial and error when it comes to Nightmare. Now, Holly's, in this moment, you do want all 3 of the bots alive because it's going to get hectic in this house. We already know how once you start popping some of these little nest sacks, you're going to have a horde coming. You're going to have some special infected coming. Now, there's one room in this house that's going to be your powerhouse room that you're going to funnel everybody to. And one thing to note, you want to work from the basement up. If there are any nest sacks in the basement, sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's just first floor and second floor. But if you have one in the basement, this is the room that I'm talking about. It's going to be the powerhouse. If that thing comes in, push your way into the bathroom. Sometimes you'll have a moment where that bruiser will get all the way to that doorway. He'll slam down, but he'll hit into the room off to the left. Kind of a little cheese moment that you can kind of exploit the damage not being taken to yourself, but he's just slamming down into the next room, even though he's trying to slam through that doorway, but doesn't end up hitting you. It's one thing that can save you. But you'll see me utilize that room a bit more. We just run all the way up there, run all the way back to that room, because sometimes if you don't run all the way back in there, the bots won't follow you all the way up. You can already see walkers getting stuck by a bruiser right now, or a tall boy, one of the two. But you can see it's chasing him up. It's coming. And these are those moments where you kind of want that grenade. Now, you notice I didn't exactly nail it spot on, but some of these tall boys are going to eat that grenade. But what that's going to do is essentially make them one shot. That's how strong some of these special infected are. That's why we want the grenades. You don't want to be wasting your time shooting all that ammunition into them, especially if you're down a couple of bots. It's going to take quite a bit of ammunition in order to kill them, but the bots will also start dropping that ammo in case you're getting low. They pretty much have that infinite supply. Now we work on to the second one. We do the same strat over. We're going to keep maintaining this hallway. If things get a bit too cluttered in there, push back into the bedroom. If they start pushing into the bedroom, get into that bathroom. That's your last hold right there. That's the last front line you're going to have. If you don't make it in there, well, trust me, you weren't going to make it if you tried running around somewhere else or tried running outside the building, especially with Hawkers being one of the additive corruption cards with this. You don't want to be stuck outside getting hit by one of those Hawkers, pushed off, because the bots are, they're reliable sometimes, and then they're not reliable. They're doing a great job right now, but you've already seen they can do a pretty piss-poor job previously. But bundle them in. Keep it maintained. We've only got one left. Now, arguably, when you have one left, you could try to bum rush it. You could pop that one, then pop the door downstairs, immediately run outside, hit the button for the tow truck, and start booking it. But if you pop the last one and kind of hold out, you'll give yourself a little bit of breathing room for that one moment, considering as soon as you start pulling up with that tow truck, that car that's on the wall, you kind of want to you want that moment to be able to breathe before that thing gets pulled up far enough for you to just straight sprint down. And sometimes that can mean the difference between your bots dying or living. Sometimes when it comes, and well, we'll get to it here in a second, but as you can see, we're just going to clear out that last horde, finish it off, maintain as much health as we can. As you can see, I'm pretty much sticking around half health right now. It's the best we got at this point, and that's pretty much where it's going to stay. But so far, we've not used a stun gun. We've got the pain pills still available for any moment we need it, and we're doing pretty good so far. And sometimes the bots will heal you in this moment, things like that. They notice you'll have a bit less health than normal. One thing to keep in mind, keep a bot alive as long as possible in missions like this. As you'll notice, they have some inventory in their slots right now. If they go down and you pull them off the wall, they'll no longer have that inventory, so they cannot heal you. They cannot possibly throw a Molotov or a pipe bomb or anything like that if they've went down and you pulled them off the wall. They won't get it until the next time you hit another safe room. But as you can see, we're about to run up on another moment where the bot is really frustrating. You notice Holly, I had this happen in campaign as well when I was playing with my buddy and we had one bot with us. They'll kind of get stuck a little bit. You'll need to move around just a little bit for them to continuously get it. Finally, she hops over. I thought I was going to get stuck there, and special infected we're going to start spawning. But as you'll notice, as soon as we get the as soon as we pop that button, boom, special infected are on their way. Now, I'm not sure whether or not that was because we delayed before pressing the button or it initiated from the button press, because there are other moments I've noticed where special infected will spawn as soon as you hit buttons like that. But that could have been that moment where we delayed a little too long. The AR director spawned some more in. But this is that sprinting moment. We're just going straight in. Clear a little bit of the common behind you. I mean, bots at this point, you want them, but you don't want them. At this point, I took a little bit too much time in here. I was not sure really what I was doing. I was just kind of looking around for a second. I started to see the straightaway. This is when we're going to start pushing up those mines. I looked at it and said, we're going. That's the end of it. We're just making that push. And in this moment, you essentially want to run as fast as you can. Blow that up on the left. It's going to help you a little bit, but you want to avoid those zombies. You want to try to maintain as much stamina as possible. And in certain moments coming up on some of these, you want to take a little bit of the common infected. You'll notice I just stopped for a second just to get a little stamina back. But you're gonna run into some problems up here. For me, it was one of those pitch black missions. There was one of those grenade moments. I didn't take, the most damage possible to where it made me one shot. Arguably, it kind of did. But I had the pain pills ready. I was able to push in. And as you'll notice, the bots have already teleported behind me. That's one of those moments. Again, you want to clear out some of these portions just to make sure that you're able to push forward without anything grabbing you. That slowdown effect is really going to hurt you, and that damage is really going to destroy you. There's going to be two sleepers up here. Now, arguably, I should have shot that guy, but I'm just moving. It's adrenaline pump moment right here. I've never made it this far on solos. Boom, we're on to the final mission. We don't even have a continue used at this point. It means we have 2 tries when it comes to this final mission. Now, I got to this point with randoms previously earlier on in the day. And I'll tell you right now, if you're running with other people, it's going to be 7 shots out of this howitzer. I didn't even notice until probably until I was 1 shot away from winning this mission. But there's only 4 shots needed when it comes down to loading this for solos. That is unbelievably easy, and you can get that done in no time. This is where Headband comes in perfect play. This is going to make you lightning fast. You're about to see it. Now, I went in, got the quit slot. I went for offensive item upgrade because I wanted my pipe bombs to last longer so I could keep the horde at bay since I have 3 pipe bombs. This is where we want the pipe bombs. Throw the grenades out the window. We don't want those. Now, I messed up thinking that I could drop some pipe bombs down the little ramp going towards the hole that we go to. Got a little bit of healing. But you'll notice here in a second, I went out. and I thought, like, I saw it in some gameplay footage previous on someone else's run, and I thought I could do the same thing, and then I ended up sliding down and wasting one of my pipe bombs. Now, I did still have a continue, so it didn't frighten me that much, but not having that moment, you'll notice I'm about to push forward, trying to grab it, and I missed it. You know, I'm freaking out at this point. I'm like, I've only got 2 pipe bombs. I'm thinking I got to shoot 7 of these howitzer rounds. You know, I just start moving around, looking everywhere, trying to clear a bit. I got the bad roll when it came to the zombies, getting a corruption card where they're all acid dropping. If you know anything, or if you've faced this before, you know if they're in your face or anywhere near you and you shoot them, you're taking splash damage off it. You're going to get that step in damage, and it can be really painful when it comes to Nightmare. That damage can be far increased. I start getting everything ready like I'm going to do 7 shots. I don't even know at this point that it's only going to be 4. I'm just getting myself ready. I'm like, just have it when I need it. One thing to do is to go around, look for grenades, look for where certain items are going to be. There's going to be some pain pills. There's going to be some bandages around. You already noticed I'm a little bit low on health right now. I'm going to grab some of these up. I'm utilizing the propane tanks and the jerry cans to the best of my ability. But you'll notice I don't even have to use these. Now, if you're in a group play where you're playing with friends, you're going to have these. I utilized them the one time that we did it, and we only made it to 5 shots put in. After that point, we lost the person that had all the speed use, and it was a botched mission. It was just me by myself, just running around. Another one of those moments where I'm like, nah, I have no stun gun, but lucky enough, I've got the breakout, but the breakout still, it's not the greatest. Now, here in a second, I thought this was going to be the hardest portion. If you're in group play, this is going to be the hardest portion. But if you're doing this solo and you make it this far and you've got that speed use, this is going to be a cakewalk. Look how fast this goes. Boom. We're in, fired, pulling the round out, letting the bots take care of some of the common infected right now. I haven't even thrown a pipe bomb. I throw this one in, I pull out my pipe bomb, get that ready for the next oncoming one, unload the shell, throw this one in, and by this point I've realized I only need 1 more shot. We don't even need the full 7. This is it. Boom. That's it. Act 1 completed. This is how you get it done on solos. That's some tips that you'll need for any moment when you're going forward with a group. Some of those moments to hold out in. Some tips to live by. And hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully this will help you out in some of your Nightmare runs. Help you get to work some strategy out with some of your teammates. And this build is something I would say is essential for at least one person on the team. If you don't have that use speed, especially for this final mission, I'll tell you right now, it's going to take a long time to load that thing in and fire it and then unload it. You will not have enough time. The horde will be on you, and I guarantee you will not have enough offensive supply in order to keep them at bay long enough for somebody without the use speed on this mission in Nightmare. That is essential to this build. But I hope this helped you guys, and we also have an AR build that'll be releasing alongside this video. Check that out as well. If you have any questions, comments, or questions, anything about this run, anything to do with it, maybe some more tips that maybe I didn't say, that maybe you thought of, let me know down in the comments below, or head over to my Twitch. Follow me up over there. I'll have a link in the description. I'll be able to answer any questions over there. I'm more than happy to. And that's going to be the end of it. And we'll be pushing into Act 2 on Nightmare tomorrow. And hope you guys have a good one.